I'm an ex-maternal and child health nurse for something like 37 years. I've worked in community with mothers and babies, networks, agencies, and I can see how we all try and pull together to help a client regain a life that's beneficial to them and to rejoin our community. I've also been a permaculture fan since the first books came out, Permaculture 1, with David Holmgren and Bill Mollinson. So I've been a fan, if not a practitioner. But that certainly has guided me in the way I view my gardens, food sources, global networks. So we use the term transition in Transition Village Wallan. First, as a transition personally, so this particularly affects our committee, our volunteers and our community in terms of becoming understanding and accepting of people who are vulnerable or other than us, and reaching into ourselves to accommodate compassion for those people and the ability to reach out to help them. We truly believe that everyone wants to help. It's often how to do it that leaves people a bit stunned, because we're busy with work and all our social engagements and our children or our friends or whatever. We're working far too much. So we want to draw that back and refocus more on community. It's also transition around people who are homeless or experiencing homelessness, so that they're transitioning from that state of hopelessness, despair, trauma, back into a community that's accepting them and where they can have a beneficial impact for themselves and on the community. It's also transition into a whole community change to a low or zero emission carbon. And that absolutely goes to the heart of managing climate change, managing the unsettledness and the poor belief and just the dissatisfaction we have with the way we tend to live now. And it seems to be leaving us more disconnected from other people and from a life that's satisfying. This is the first time this model has been implemented as it is in Australia that I know of. Transition Village Wallan model is based on Opportunity Village in Eugene, USA. We've taken that practically wholesale from the US and brought it here, but then we've added aspects of it that I think make it totally new, transformative and very Australian. So to that original model we've added a huge impact on community. So we work closely with our community, our agents in community, our local council, our pollies, you name it. If they're standing outside the door, their community, and we're trying to engage with them. The sustainability part of the village is very important to us. Our village will be setting permaculture designed gardens and using transition principles of living to guide the way we react and interact with each other. We will have grid connected solar system, composting toilets with a grey water recycle system and water tanks, permaculture gardens, both personal and also productive. The village will be a village of sleeping cabins. So if you can imagine a 3 metre by 4 metre sleeping pod or cabin with a bed, tables and chairs, relaxing lounge area, chair, and lots of storage, little veranda outside, but basically all turning into or onto social meeting areas. People will be using communal facilities. So if you imagine a powered site on a caravan park where you're using the community kitchen, laundry, showers, kitchen, dining room, toilets. The sustainability part of the village is very important to us. Our village will be setting permaculture designed gardens and using transition principles of living to guide the way we react and interact with each other. We will have grid connected solar system, composting toilets with a grey water recycle system and water tanks, permaculture gardens, both personal and also productive. We're hoping to get in a meeting room and workshops. So we want to blur the boundaries, those lines between our general community and our village community. So not only do we want volunteers to come into the community and help and assist or whatever the villagers, we want the villagers and those volunteers to go out into community together and work on projects that are sustainable but of benefit to the community. Our village people will be 18 plus years. They are going to be singles or couples. We are not equipped to take children, or women and children, or particularly women escaping violence. We don't have the security or the skills to help those particular people. We're not able, because we're a community group, we're not able in our skill set to actually help people or house people who are currently drug or alcohol addicted or have severe mental issues or trauma that needs intensive care from professionals. Our aim is to take people who are having that bit of bad luck and give them time to regroup, sort out their finances, gain new skills, might be mediation, social skills, employability skills, re-engagement with the community, how to speak to people, but also to deal with their internal issues. So to have been unhoused and made homeless is a trauma that it's really hard to get over. So we want to assist people to heal in that sense and return to community. And we need people to come on board who are going to assist us. So again, it's not us just handing out or whatever. It's a two-way conversation with those people. Can they help us as much as we can help you? And can they take on the ideas and work the program as they will probably need to make this a success for them and the project and for the people that follow on. We're hoping that this project will be set up in a way with our archives and to be able to be copied by other communities. And we do get a lot of interest from other people who are at the stage of having heard about it or interested in tiny houses and wanting to apply, the same as we have, tiny house and vulnerable people. I say that because it could be refugees, or you could do a securing village of homeless women, whatever. But to apply those principles of tiny house, relocatable buildings and community to whatever project they're looking at. We work on volunteers, so we have a very small project, but a large view of where volunteers sit in it as part of community, but also because everyone involved we consider volunteers. So our committee, volunteers. Our residents, they're volunteers. The people around us, the students, anyone who might be having interest are treated as volunteers. So we want to make it a kind of modern program. We have a system called Better Impact where we can offer learning modules through the program. So if you're interested in the permaculture aspects, as you work on your hours and input into the program, you will get pop-up learning units. So that for people who just want to learn something new and don't want to be just doing the tea round for the next 10 years, people can change within the model and learn really new aspects of work around sustainability. Again, it comes back to the sustainability of it. It means that people can tick off that they've had certain learning units. It might be health and safety, permaculture, worms, leading a group, committee work, and that will give them a reference and skills for employability. And again, that's something really important to us, that people aren't just focused on getting a 9-to-5 job, but they're focused on working and contributing to community.